Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. It's an extra show to react to the war with Iran and, of course, the by-election result in the week, which I just thought was shocking. The whole thing is shocking. The whole way the political establishment is reacting to it and the commentariat, the mainstream, lamestream media. But here's your chance to have your say. And we'll start with is it a simple question? I don't know. Is Starmer a coward when it comes to Iran? Why isn't he backing Donald Trump 100%? And then the second question, is Polanski a dangerous fool? And are they both, in one way or another, traitors to our great country? Or is that going over the top? Quite willing to be pulled up on that. But where do you stand? And what do you make of the by-election result? I mean, I think there's one word that unites all this. Muslim. That's what it is, because I think Keir Starmer was petrified of what might happen in that by-election, and it came true, didn't it? And I think Polanski cynically exploited it. I mean, Polanski, when you look at him, that's not the Green Party, is it? That isn't the Green Party. And did you see his deputy out on the demo for the people who support the Iraqi regime, not the Iraqi revolution that is going on at the moment? No, we're talking about Muffin Ali. He's number 2 to Zack Polanski. The whole thing is shocking. But they won the by-election, and she won by 4,000 votes. And of course, it looks like there's been sectarian voting, and that concerns me, and it should probably concern you. So if you want to talk about that, feel free. And then there's what happened in Iraq with Israel and indeed with Mr. Trump. Now, I'm going to put my cards on the table. I'm 100% behind Israel and Trump. I am delighted. I'm almost dancing in the street that we've removed the foul Ayatollah and his henchmen. Aren't you? I really don't understand how people can be so upset and going on about, it's an illegal war. It's an illegal war. Jack Polanski, or Zack Polanski, whatever his fucking name is, he was on Laura Kunsberg this morning. I've got it on my phone here. Look, I'll just read it to you. I'm really concerned to hear the Defence Secretary refuse to rule out UK's involvement in future strikes in Iran. This was because your man, John Healey, said, well, we may well get involved. We should be involved already. But this idiot, Zack, the tit whisperer, you know that story, that he used to be a hypnotherapist, and a reporter from The Sun, a woman, he told her that he could increase her breast size. He came out with some cock and bull excuse. This was back in 2013. You know his name's not Zack as well, don't you? It's not even Polanski. When I was looking him up today, ChatGPT thought I meant Roman Polanski. Even with his dodgy record, I think I'd rather have him as the next Prime Minister and not Starmer or Zack. But anyway, he goes on and says, Iraq lessons must be learned. Different government, different party, it's just nonsense. Further escalation in the Middle East makes us all less safe. Oh, really? Tell that to the 200,000 Brits who are in Dubai at this moment, you cretin. He says Starmer must rule out, this is Polanski, he's won one election, right, by basically lying, by Islamist, effectively joining with the Islamists. I'm worried sick about it, really. But he goes, one thing is clear. Listen, Keir Starmer is singularly incapable of standing up to Donald Trump. Well, he's definitely singularly incapable, but not of standing up to Donald Trump, of not standing up to idiots like you. And the sectarian, is it called sectarianism, of British politics. It's bloody frightening what is happening in our country. And then we got the daft plumber. So it's a fake plumber, isn't it? A fake plumber, a fake party, And then I've got, well, they are friends and even relatives who have voted or are celebrating that the Greens won. So he's doing something right. Scary, scary times. I want your opinion. Put your name and your what you want to say in the comment box, and I'll come to you in just a moment. So Starmer is still refusing to fully back tougher action on Iran. When he gave that speech yesterday, his first line was, "I want to make it clear, Muslim friends, that we were not involved." But then he went on to say, "But our planes are now in the sky. So we're not involved, but we're involved." What a cretin. We should have given full permission to our top ally, America, and indeed Israel, who have always been a good ally to us as well, to use our airfields to bomb the fuck out of this fascist regime. So it's not caution, it's cowardice. Cowardice on several levels. He's scared of what's happening because he's been wiped out, hasn't he? He wouldn't even get elected now. And there was so much corruption in that election. Postal votes, for example. Then the idea of family values or whatever it is, daddy going into the voting booth. Why didn't the coppers stop it? I don't agree with Nigel Farage completely. I actually think they would have still won because he's hit a nerve, Polanski has. But he also mobilised that one community. And also, of course, Georgie Galloway, he helped him out, didn't he? Because he didn't put up a rival candidate, which would have split their vote. This is just madness. The rise of the Green Party and Zack Polanski himself, which is why he was on Laura Kunsberg this morning, has paralysed Labour. They're in absolute fear. They're frit of losing even more ground. We know what Starmer's been up to. Starmer threatened all those MPs that he would resign and go to the country straight away. Like turkeys, they weren't going to vote for Christmas, so they've backed him. We've now, mixing my metaphors, we've now got a lame duck prime minister. And now we're not going into a war with Iran. However, our people who are out in the Middle East are in grave, grave danger. And our troops. Because some of those ports, some of those army bases, RAF bases, are shared with the Americans. I've just been reading on the internet, they nearly hit a couple of our airfields in Cyprus. The cowardice, the fact that he hasn't got a spine, now is putting British people in real danger. And the blood will be on his hands. How's Dubai going to react to this? Because the whole idea of Dubai being this safe place to go, no crime, whatever, well, that's gone out of the window. On one level, I read a tweet earlier today where it said it's pure genius of the Iranians, what's left of them, to attack Dubai. Because it is, isn't it? Because I mean it in a cynical way. Dubai do not want to lose that relationship they've got with the West. But will they now join with us? I see Saudi Arabia have been attacked. Oman as well. Starmer is putting electoral survival, his own survival, but he's fucking useless at the job. So why he wants to survive, I don't know. He's put that before strong leadership on the world stage. He's putting his own career before the lives of British citizens. Now, I think that's basically traitorous. I don't think he's operating for the best of Britain. International law. Nobody said it's against international law before you go off on one of them. We've got all the uber liberals coming out with that crap this morning. But Starmer has gone soft at possibly the most dangerous moment, not just in the Middle East, but in the world since World War II. This could be World War III. And what's he doing to stop it? Oh, you can't use our airfields. Oh, you're the enemy, the orange man. Trump, oh, I hate you. you pathetic, weak cretin. And then you got Zack Polanski. He's saying, look, I've got other alternatives. On Laura Kunsberg this morning, he said we should not have assassinated, that was the word he used, the supreme leader of Iran, of the fascist regime. Assassinated, as if he was a world statesman, as if this man deserved any humanity. He deserved the Saddam shuffle. That's what he deserved. What a shame that he got blown to smithereens by one of the missiles from America, or indeed, well, it wouldn't be from Britain, would it? Or from Israel. But Zack Polanski saying he's been assassinated, and that's wrong. And there could have been peace. So even Laura Kunsberg, who's about as tough as the softest fudge on a summer's day in the window of Thornton's, if they're still in operation, even she pushed him on that and said, how can you negotiate with these people? Now, I'm not in the camp of you can never negotiate with terrorists, because of course you can. But you can't negotiate with somebody who's developing a nuclear weapon, who only a week or two ago killed thousands of his own people. No, you can't. Trump has got the balls to actually say, right, I'm taking them out. And you know how they've done it with the Israelis? They obviously have been tracking their phone calls. So bang, 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 they've gone. But I'll give it to the Iranians. They're coming back hard. They're coming back hard, but they're going to run out of missiles. I don't know how much damage they're going to do. But that's why Starmer should join Trump. Are you with me, or are you against me? I think we have got a jellyfish as a prime minister. Winston Churchill's statue got attacked, right? Vandalised. Winston Churchill looking over to Westminster, and he sees the cretin, the spineless amoeba that is Starmer. I hope we didn't bury him. I hope we cremated him, because he'd be spinning in his grave. And what about that Dutch freak? He shouldn't even be in the country, and he vandalises Winston Churchill's statue and calls him a war criminal. And he doesn't hide, because he writes some of it in Dutch and basically does it when everybody's there. He's one of those same protesters. Talking of which, I'm going to stop in a minute, but what about the fact there's protests on the streets of London at the moment against Trump and against Israel? People hate Jews so much. It makes me say, I don't know what their problem is. Attacking Jews again, anti-Semite filth. Zack Polanski is a Jew, or was born a Jew. He's Polish. Did you know that? That's his background. And his name's David. And he's a tit whisperer. Why do people vote for him? I mean, it's simple, because it's simple politics. He does route one. Oh, capitalism's terrible. I hate the C word. He could get a job at the BBC. They used to hate anybody who made money. Hate them. It's not even sixth form politics, Polanski. It's sub-sixth form. Do you agree or disagree? Am I going mental about nothing? Do you like what I'm saying? Put your comments in the box. I'm just going to have this water. This is an extra show. Don't forget, I'm normally here at 6 every night of the week. Next week's going to be a bit weird, because it's my birthday on Tuesday. Thank you. You can send your good luck to your birthday treats to me if you want. So Tuesday, I'm going to pre-record. Wednesday, I've got a pre-record, because I'm like the Queen. I've got 2 birthdays. How about that? It's extended family, you know what I mean? So both those days, there'll be pre-records, but I will repeat them at 6 o'clock, just so you know. 65. I was meant to be a multi-millionaire by now. Look at me. Huh? I'm not bankrupt, but I'm on my arse, that's for sure. If you like what I'm doing, feel free to donate. Just click on that $ or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt to keep these podcasts going. 20 likes, hundreds of people watching. Thank you very much indeed. So my first question today that I put up on the thing was, is Starmer showing caution or cowardice? Is Polanski bold or reckless? Or is he just a prick? Well, that's what I think he is. Let's have your views, and let's start with Alex Nimmo. I think you're a first-time caller, first-time poster. Yes, he is 1 weak person. Thank you very much indeed. Nigel Parker says, I love Dawn Neeson. What's your problem? I like Dawn. I know her well. And I did congratulate her and Mark White on GB News. Mark White in particular yesterday was absolutely brilliant. He was on at breakfast. He stayed on all day, right through to the night, and he made it massively interesting. What's your views? The Ayatollah is currently burning in hell as we speak, says Pallet Proxy Door. Thank you. Greens are going for the Muslim vote, says Pam Millett, one of my regulars. Hello, Pam. Saying Muslims are safe with us, and any who want to come here are welcome. And what about all the group family members voting in one box? Well, let's dissect what you've said there. He has said that he wants to give every flip-flop warrior, anybody who turns up at Dover, Zack the Pratt, he wants to give them a council house, and he wants to give them a living allowance. And he wants them to stay because he doesn't believe in borders, or borders are so last century. So we're going to have an invasion anyway because of what's happening in Iran. But Zack, if he was in charge, would let them all in. Let them all in. And the group family members going into the box, telling your wife or your daughters how to vote. No, but you see, we've allowed this to happen. Because we've allowed people to come here and live separate lives. I don't think you should leave your culture and all your traditions at passport control. Of course not. Nothing wrong with that. In Coventry, we had a load of Polish people who came just before the Second World War. They were miners. They all lived in a place called Binley. The pit's closed down now. There's a surprise. But they came. They had their churches. They've still got them. They've got their Polish community centres. And then the big wave of the Poles came with Blair. They've fitted in. They've still got their language. They've still got their culture. Some of their dads, like Reg, one of my best friends, she's a woman, by the way, but she's one of my best friends. Her dad made his own vodka and stuff. It was naughty, but it was all part of their culture. Wicked stuff. And made his own wine as well. But they fitted in. They wanted to be in Britain. They wanted to make Britain great again. Now you dare to wear a hat saying make Britain great again, and you're in trouble. To see Mike Tyndall, married to Princess Anne's daughter, he had make England great again on his hat. He was talking about cricket, I think. Well, I'm pretty sure he was. No, rugby he was talking about because he's an ex-England international. The papers were trying to wind that up into, is he a racist? What, wanting to make your country great is racist? Absolute BS. Are you with me or against me? Let's get your views. Loads coming in. I also need your donations today. Come on, I'm doing this extra show. You got a few quid? Give it to Gaunty. You can either do it by pressing the $sign, then you get your name on the screen during the show, or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Yeah, I do feel a bit like the Queen. I'm going out Tuesday. That's just me and Lisa. Bit of a romantic curry. Very Midlands, isn't it? Wednesday, they've got me tickets to go to the theatre. So I'm off to the Royal Shakespeare Company. I love going there to see a play there. Out on Friday with the mates, as per norm. That's that. And then what else will I do? Oh, then Sunday, my daughter, Bethany, my younger daughter, she's taking me out for a slap-up meal. She got some sort of thing on an app where you get half-price meals at certain restaurants on certain days. Proper restaurants. I don't mean the Hungry Cow or something. So I'm looking forward to that. I think we're going to Italian or maybe in Vietnamese. What a week for Gaunty. But I will be doing my show, so make sure you tune in. Craig Urquhart, Hannah Montana, is that what you call it there? The Hannah the Plumber, was cringeworthy, prancing about in an old carpet, dancing with the local Muslims. Yeah, I had a right go at her on the morning. Yeah, I mean, that's who they want in power. But don't forget, she's just a front. She's just being used. She's just a daft bird daft woman being used by the Islamists. They showed their true colours. The deputy leader, have you seen his wife? No, nor's he or anyone else, because she wears a bloody burqa. That's the real Green Party. That's the real Green. They're not green. When I voted for them last time, it was because I didn't want to go bodyboarding down at Harlem Bay in Cornwall and have loads of shit going past me ear rolls. And they want to look after the rivers. And I thought all the rest of them were such idiots, we might as well give them a go. I wouldn't vote green now for anything. Anyone who votes green is green. You cannot see what Polanski's up to. The gap-toothed lying snake. Let's move on. Snake Rupert Lowe is on Starmer and Polanski's side. I don't know whether I'd call him a snake. What, he's come out saying he wouldn't go in? Yeah, I think he has. I think I read that this morning. Well, he's a jerk then as well, isn't he? He's a jerk. Of course we have to stand up. This is the country of Winston Churchill. We won 2 world wars. I don't understand. We never let the Nazis in, apart from that submarine guy in Dad's army. Did we? Don't tell him your name, Pike. A bunch of pensioners stopped the invasion. Now we've got an invasion of people wearing flip-flops, designer jackets, with brand new mobile phones that you're not allowed to take off them. And then it's this way, straight to your 4-star hotel. Oh, sorry. Labour have reduced the number of hotel beds they're using. Oh, yes, because they've put them all in houses of multiple occupation where it's easier for them to go out and rape our daughters. Oh, is that unfair? Let's get your views on that. I need a house. I might have to turn Muslim. Well, it's not about being Muslim, my friend. It's about being an illegal immigrant. It's about breaking into the country. That's how you get your house. Den Spink says the enemy is already here, John. Well, I've got a lot of sympathy for that, because I say to Starmer, do you know, can you vouch for everybody? Not in every dinghy. Let's just pick a dinghy at random. Any dinghy you like, right? Pick a dinghy and then tell me that you can vouch for everyone in there, or that you even know where one of them comes from, because you don't. And that's where you're playing Russian roulette with our wives, children's, daughters and girls. And it stinks. And then you call us, wait this. The only thing you get angry about, Starmer, is when you think you can go, oh, look at me. I used to be the director of public prosecutions. I'm right on. I'm woke. I am. What can I kneel for? Oh, let me kneel. Let me kneel. Oh, let me kneel. Yeah? You make me sick. That's the only time you show any passion. And, of course, you were the director of public prosecutions. And Jimmy Savile, he didn't come across your desk, did he? Not at all. What about the Ayatollah? Did he ever come in over your desk in your presence, Mr. Starmer? I'm asking for a friend. How much longer are we going to have to put up with this cretin? Why hasn't he got the ability? Well, it's because he's arrogant, just to resign. Oh, and no doubt he fully supports what happened at the football yesterday. Because it's the end of, it's something to do with Ramadan Ding Dong, isn't it? They've got a situation now where the football stops so they can end their fast. But during the game, look, if you wanted to accommodate that medieval religion, right? And I don't believe, as you know, I don't believe in any religions. It's all tosh. It's all fairy tales. But that's my view. But if you want to, I can respect it. And I suppose I could even put up with you changing the time of the game by 10 minutes or so that the fast could be broken at half time or at the end of the match. I mean, we do it for Sky. Why can't we do it? I don't agree with it. Every football match should be at 3:00. Of course it should be. But you don't stop the game. You don't say, 100 years of tradition, we ain't having that anymore, because there's a minority of people in this country who are Muslim who want to fast, and the players are fasting, so we've all got to stop. Here's another idea. How about they fit in or ship out? How about they do what the majority do? I'm sorry. I really don't get it. And I don't think it's racist or anti-religious or anything like that. It's just clear logic. David Mitchell. Yeah, very true, David. On YouTube, he says, Facebook, they're going after Cyprus now. Yeah, you're right. Frightening. Absolutely terrifying. And He won't even say to America, oh, we've got these massive air bases in Cyprus. Come and use them. Whack in some F-15s or whatever from here. No. He's making Trump fight with one arm up his back. Mind, Trump's making a good job of it. Got rid of the Ayatollah. No problem. And I love all the bleeding heart liberals. Let's move on from that so that we don't have to say he's done a good job already. Let's start talking about you'll never get regime change unless you've got boots on the ground. They want to say that because then they want to say, but we don't want our people going there. Are you going to send your kids, Starmer? They just want to move the agenda to safer ground, to the cultural Marxist territory. That's what they're always doing. It's like this football thing. I've seen loads of comments about that today. Evidently, you're mad weighted if you think that's wrong. It's not racist to say football's football. It's not. It's not. Stopping the game? No way whatsoever. By the way, you're listening and watching to the Jon Gaunt Show. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, the best thing is to join Jon Gaunt TV, all one word, Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. When the first time you go there, a little pop-up advert comes up saying, do you want to subscribe? Do not panic, Captain Mannering, because it doesn't cost anything. So say yes. So if you subscribe, you'll get told when I'm doing extra shows. You also get access to all the archive of my past shows as well. So please do that. While you're there, you might want to contribute a few quid to keep these going, because it's all funded at the moment, well, by Lisa. She's downstairs with a big ledger at the moment. She'll be happy within the number of people watching today. She'll be overjoyed, and 34 likes is great. But I've not had a penny donated. So if you'd like to donate anything, just whatever you can afford, don't do too much. Anything that you can afford, just simply click that $ if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, there's other ways of doing it. And if you're listening on a podcast, you just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Yeah, it's on the bottom of the screen now. That's all you have to do, and that'll really help me out. And if you do donate, you get yourself on that menu now that's up now that I've just put up with all the other people who have donated. So thank you for that. Where are we going next? Oh, that worked well. Kevin Cunning has just donated a super sticker. Thank you, Kevin. Fiver, £4.99. That is very, very generous of you. Thank you very much indeed. So that's Kevin Cunning. Now I'm going to leave his name up while I just look for the latest comments because I'm all over the place here. 65. I got a bit fed up the other day. 65. Where's the years gone? And I tell you one other thing. I said to Mark, sent Mark a comment on, well, not to Mark directly. I know him, but from GB News. But I wrote up on Twitter how brilliant I thought him and Dawn were. And they both said, thank you very much. They remembered me, which was quite nice. But then I said to Mark, I was very jealous because when you do this kind of game, breaking news is the best. When I did 9/11 and 7/7, of course, and the Vauxhall thing that won me all my awards, that was the best radio I've ever done. Because the best radio and TV comes at times of other people's personal tragedy. So I would love to be on a mainstream station at the moment. It's not going to happen, but there we are. I've got my audience here and we're building it. We're a nice little club, aren't we? Let's move on. Mark Friston, I think Starmer's supreme leader got killed. And now Starmer has no friends, apart from Putin and some lefties who've been brainwashed by communists in the universities. Thank you, Mark. I tell you what is interesting. Did you see President Putin? You got to laugh. He's a bit of a lad, isn't he? He's put up a comment saying, I don't agree with the, just like Zach, I don't agree with the assassination of the leader of, what country is it we just bombed? Iran. And he said it's illegal and underhand. I thought, oh, well, hang on, you're on a bit of dodgy territory here. You are, aren't you? If we then went and had a look at Ukraine or perhaps the killing of the Skripals and all the rest of it. But I don't know. Strange bedfellows, that's all I will say. Where are we going next? He has gallons and gallons of blood on his hands. He should be put in prison for life, says the Glam Man 424 something on YouTube. MI5, MI6 is compromised. The king's money, that's why he sent off most of the country we used to honour Mohammed King. Listen, did that make any sense to you? Or did you ask the mental health nurse who looks after you to read it? Makes no sense, and it's pure bigotry, and it's pure bullshit, right? So if you're going to write something like that, at least do it properly, Jon Stewart. Otherwise, you just look as thick as mince. The Iranian regime slaughtered its own people, correct. But there's people in London at the moment protesting, saying we shouldn't have killed the Ayatollah or vaporized him or whatever happened to him. Should have made that Dutch fella clean the statue himself, says Den Spinks. I agree. And that should be with a toothbrush. Anybody want to talk about the football? I will take some calls on that as well, some views on that. And then here she is. Oh, no, it's a different Jackie. Jacqueline Olsen says, I agree with you. Can you have a word with my wife? Because I'd like her to say that to me sometimes. Although she's being particularly nice at the moment about my birthday. Don't know what's going on there. What do you want for your birthday, John? Well, they always ask me this, and the kids. Pair of socks. I want some socks. Some of those socks that don't grab, gents, you'll know what I mean. You know those socks that don't grab your ankles? Yeah? That's what I need. That's what I need. And I don't mind if they're made of bamboo or cotton. I don't care. But they all sound bored. Oh, and I always want a bottle of my juice as well. That's my juice. Yeah, can you see that? Me and Ewan McGregor use the same aftershave. Adventure. It's not aftershave, it's body spray. They've stopped making it now, right? He must have made a when I say it's me and him sharing the same aftershave, he got paid for promoting it. I just buy it. I went into I tell you where you get it cheap, in case you want to buy me a bottle. Savers, best shop in the world. Once you get past all the disabled trolleys and all the old people, bargains galore. It's fantastic. But I went in there and I said, no, I didn't go there. I went to Superdrug because I don't know why. Because anyway, thinking they'd have it. I said, you got any of that adventure? She says, who makes it? This dumb woman behind the thing. I said, I don't know. It's called Adventure. She says, yeah, but who makes it? I said, well, isn't that your job? You're the perfume assistant. You should be able to go, oh, yeah, Adventure, that's so-and-so. She says, well, don't you know? I said, no, clearly, because I'm asking. Well, we haven't got any. And that was the end of the conversation. So I had to come out, went up the parade. This was in Leamington. Went into Savers, passed all the disabled and the elderly people in there, because it's a mecca for them. It is. It is. It's like a mini Benidorm. You ever been to Benidorm? There's so many people on those scooters. I'm not taking the mickey out of them. I'm just observing. Anyway, I went in there. It says to the woman, you got any adventure? She says, oh, it's by Davidoff, isn't it? I said, yeah, if you say so. So she got me it straight away. Fantastic service. So I like Savers. Right. Not Dr. Eggman, 85. Starmer told us what side he was on when he recognised Palestine. And the synagogue attacks were his fault. Well, the first part of that, I definitely agree with you. The second part, I don't know whether you can be that clear to say it's his fault. But I know where you're coming from. He's been really upset recently about another attack. I don't know what it was, on Muslims. Somebody went in with a load of weapons, spades and stuff to a mosque. He's been going on about that. Fine. I just wish he'd go on about Jewish people when they get attacked in the same way. Starmer is getting scared, says Jackie Olsen. You are right. Anthony Jenkins, you are right as usual. Please tell my wife. Kevin Cunning, we're back to you, Kevin. Look, there you are with your super sticker. $4.99. You're a top man. Thank you very much indeed. Niven Casey, now he's one of my regulars. He always makes a bit of sense. Hi, John. Polanski, also known as Paulden. Yeah, his real name is David Paulden, right? You're right, Niven. Is crapping himself because his Islamo-fascist idols in Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthi may end up losing their funding. Yeah, Iran was funding them. I'm not sure the first part of what you say is true, but thank you for making your point. How will the Jews be wiped out then? Niven is obviously being ironic. It's a fair point. It's a fair point, Niven, because the Iranian regime, this is the thing I don't can't get my head around. The Iranian regime was funding all that terror and then killing their own people in the street. They had this nice way of trying to stop people protesting. Maybe we should do it in this country. That's a modest proposal. I'm taking the mickey. But what they do in Iran, you protest against the government, right? So their equivalent of Starmer makes a fuck up, right? So what they do is so people protest. So then they kill a load of teenagers or sort of student types and lay the bodies out in the street as if to say, I don't think you should do that again. Do you think we should try that in our country? We could start with the Dutch fella who's just done Winston Churchill's statue. I'm joking, but you see what I'm getting at, don't you? And then people are saying, you assassinated him. What did Polanski say? Hang on a minute. We should refuse. No, we should rule out any more involvement in future strikes in Iran. No, we shouldn't. We should bomb the fuck out of the ones who are left. Iraq lessons must be learned. This is Zack, whatever his name is, David. Further escalation in the Middle East makes us all less safe. No, I don't think so. I don't think we're very safe at the moment. Do you idiot? Polanski, aligning himself with the Muslims, proves that not only does he hate white British people, he also hates his own people. What, you mean because he's Jewish? I don't know if it proves that, but there's an irony there, isn't there? I agree. I'd love to see Starmer trying to clean Sir Winston's vandalised statue, John. Yes, then. I'd pay good money for that. Thank you. Where's next? People will switch from reform to Restore Britain soon. Restore Britain now at 100,000 plus members, says Gav on YouTube. Well, congratulations to them, but what's that got to do with today's debate here? Oh, you're just plugging your little political party, are you? I don't think people will when Rupert comes out with the bullshit he's come out with this morning, saying he doesn't support us fighting and protecting our people. Anyway, I'm moving on. Karen Evie's Nana. Is that a treble-belled name, or are you Karen Evie's Nana? I'm just asking. He's a coward on anything. He's self-serving so-and-so. He certainly is. Niven Casey says, Deputy Leader of the Greens was out supporting the Iranian government yesterday. Yes, he was. All you need to know about their ideology stands with that. Well said, my friend. Alan Boyce, 651, says, point one. It's not a lecture, mate. You can just have a conversation if you want. But anyway, point one, the voters are the weakest people. Point two, Rupert Lowe is not on Starmer or Dave's side. Point three, we can either unite on the middle of the right or let this country collapse. Well, point three, I totally agree with you. It's ridiculous that they're fighting each other. So that's good stuff. Thank you for that as well. Zack, this is Jim Usherwood. Zack is no fool. He's a very clever communist operator. That's not only the face of the extreme left, but has harnessed the Muslim voter by capitalizing on Gaza. Yeah, he got told off about that today, didn't he? He's put forward a naive young white girl, an acceptable front for his objectives, and won. Well, didn't just win, he thrashed reform, didn't he? Over 4,000 votes. Had he put forward an Asian or Corbyn-type lunatic, he wouldn't have won. This guy is very dangerous. Thank you, Jim, for your opinion. If you've got an opinion on him, I want to hear from you. Hannah the plumber. Yeah. I couldn't believe that. Maybe Matt, what's the name? It wasn't the right candidate to go up against it. I don't know. Well, you know who would have been? Would have been Andy, Burnham. I see he was at the Brits last night. Did you watch it? I sounded like my old man last night. I'm watching it. It's only me and Lisa. And I said to her, do you know any of the people who've been on so far? And we didn't. The only one we knew was Robbie Williams, Sharon Osbourne, and her daughter. What's his daughter's name? I should know. I did telly with her 3 times. I think it was it was the height of TV political debate. Kelly Osbourne. I did Alan Titchmarsh with her. And then afterwards, this is a few years ago, she said to me, do you mind me saying, John? Oh, no, she said, Mr. Gaunt. I said, I'm John. She goes, right. She says, do you mind me saying, you really remind me of my dad. Ozzy Osbourne. I took it as a compliment and as an insult at the same time. Do you know what? There's a lot of people slagging her about a bit looking so thin and everything. She has been through hell, and her mum. Leave them alone. They've lost their father and the love of their life. And I watched the Ozzy thing last night with Robbie singing. I think he did okay. I hate that music, but I used to love Ozzy Osbourne. He's what you call a British character, which is why the whole of Birmingham turned out for him when he passed on. I don't like the music. I've never liked Grebo music, not at all. That's me. Is anyone? Shall I give up? Because no one's donating, and it's beginning now to get on my nerves. You know me, I always tell the truth. So you need to start putting your hand in your pocket. Come on. Check out Stephen Barrett and why the king can stop the Chagos fraud. He could step in. I'd like Stephen Barrett. I'd like to interview him soon. He's the lawyer, isn't he? He goes on about his son. He's a gay guy now, but he's got a son. But he does make some very interesting points, legal points. He's a barrister. Yeah, I think he's good. Zack Polanski is an insufferable at. Oh, I like that. I've got to use that one. David KT in Coventry, we took out Saddam Hussein and Bin Laden. Nothing really changed. Let's see if this changed anything. Yeah, but the problem is, David, with your attitude, then we just let people carry on being dictators. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I understand we've got to learn from it. Is Starmer a coward or is he a traitor? There's the question for you. I don't mind them doing what they believe in. I just wish they'd leave everyone else alone and stop disrespecting our beliefs, says not Dr. Eggman 85. That's talking about the football, I think. I thought we'd get a few more comments on the football. Starmer is a coward anyway, says Benny. Thank you, Benny. What next? A surgeon has to stop halfway through a heart transplant for Ramadan. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Mr. Denzel, 27, join Restore Low 2029. You're obviously new to my program, you idiot. I don't want you just putting some party slogan on and doing like a hit and run piece, right? A drive-by comment like that, right? Go and set up your own YouTube channel if you want to do that, because I find it boring. If we have a conversation about Restore and about reform, fine. But just moronic. Starmer is a coward. He doesn't speak for the British people, says Alex Lamont. Thank you for your opinion. I notice Russia is keeping silent, says David KT. Well, not now. He has commented. Putin has commented this morning. Says the assassination of the Ayatollah was wrong, was outrageous. Couldn't say USA, Israel. What's this? Kevin Baxter. He couldn't say USA, Israel are only our allies. Oh, yeah, you're right. You were talking about when Starmer made his speech. Yeah, he didn't name them, did he? He said our allies. Well, don't worry. He's having a meeting. He's going to set up another coalition of the willing. Coalition of the fucking useless, right? That's all Starmer can do. Then he gets Jaffa King, Lammy, to order the biscuits in. Rachel from accounts will be making the tea. And everything is tickety-boo as the bombs go off in pop concert arenas and shopping malls the length and breadth of our country. I stand with Iran, and the vast majority of Iranians also do. Dump Trump. Don't know what that means, Gavin. What does that mean? That you're against the action? Why is it always Israel and USA taking on these crazy dictators with no help from anybody? Because they're the only ones with balls. Oh, Italy, Maldini, whatever her name is. She's Georgina, whatever is her name. She's got bigger balls than any other European leader. I like her. I like her a lot. Ian Coles says, could you leave Starmer alone, please? He's in mourning because of the by-election results. Very funny. Fluka Tony has contributed a $5 on YouTube. Just clicked on that $sign and donated a $5 towards the making of these podcasts. Thank you very, very much indeed. That's a super sticker. I know you've done it before and you're doing it again. Thank you, my friend. The Greens are an Islamic vehicle to power. Very dangerous times ahead. I think you're right. Chris Y9DV says, what happens when the refugees start turning up? Again, as with every other country, the West has bombed. This question is for all those that hate immigrants but support this action. Well, you see, let's discuss that. I'm in favour of well-controlled, managed immigration, right? Everybody who's turning up illegally, right, are criminals, right? The flip-flop warriors, right? I don't hate them individually, and if I lived in some shithole like they've probably lived in, I'd try to get to Britain as well. But the pure facts are this: Chris Y9DV doesn't even use his proper name, is that we can't take everyone. And it may have escaped your attention in the sixth form while you're reading your socialist rag that other people are applying in the proper way and getting accepted or not. Why should these people in flip-flops, designer trainers as well, if they've got 4 feet, some of them, why should they be allowed in above and beyond everybody else? Tell me that. And why does that make you racist? And you're right to say there'll be a load more people now trying to come from Iran, no doubt, saying they're fleeing persecution, which is why we've got to finish the job and say, no, you've got to stay and rebuild your country. It can't be another open door. But the supposition behind your comment is that anybody who's concerned about immigration is a racist. You make me want to vomit. So get off my program because you're an idiot. Feel free to come back. Russia has done said they're not going to join in with Iran. I didn't know they said that. I know they said they thought the killing was wrong. So that's interesting. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. No more proxy wars on behalf of Israel, says Grant French, Facebook. Great soundbite, Grant. Not very sensible when Iran are now sending missiles into Cyprus. John, how can you talk about football at a time like this? Mind you, I'm a Luton fan. Yeah, well said, leader. Thank you. Both Starmer and Labour are cowardly bastards. Strawberry, I've not seen you for a few weeks. Afternoon, John, I felt embarrassed yesterday. What the hell is wrong with this government? Well, they're not British. They're not British. That's the bottom line. Parliament is so weak and they're all useless, and they have been for years. I was a workman with his tool bag blown up out of all proportions. Take your medication. Jeff, you're answering somebody else and not answering me. So I don't really know. Starmer is the ultimate scam of biblical history. Thank you very much indeed. Somebody's given us lessons, and you read it yourself in the comments, all about the Israeli wars and whatever, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's boring. I love the Osbournes, says somebody else. Right, hold on. I'm trying to find a comment that is actually... My taxi driver taking me to Newtown Abbott's train station was the spitting image of you, John. Oh, yeah, that's my brother. He lives down there. Right. James Junkin and Grant French, any minute now, you're both going to get barred. If you want your own private conversation about Israel and nonsense about it in the Bible, go and have it somewhere else. But don't fill up my timeline with your boring conversation. That's why I'm not reading them out either. Right? It's not the way it works. I know other people who do internet shows do this, but it's ludicrous. What's the point? Right. Somebody's just become a new member, which is great stuff. Abby Creates, she's just become a YouTube member for the Jon Gaunt TV channel. Thank you. You can do that. They do charge for that. I think it's $1.99 or $2.99. So there you are. Right, Grant French. Grant French, do you want me to ban you? Because you're an idiot. I asked you to stop doing it. I think you think I've got loads of staff who are checking the comments. I haven't. It's just me. Great win yesterday, John. Why the MSM not investigating Polanski? I agree. A communist puppet that has taken over an environmental party. And he thinks he's in control of the Muslim vote. He is not. Well, I saw him panic this morning. Did you see him? Who was it who was interviewing him? I think it was Laura Kunsberg or somebody else after him. They asked him about George Galloway. I think it was the woman on GB News. He writes for the Telegraph. Camilla, she's good as well. But she said, well, you were helped, weren't you, in the by-election because Galloway didn't stand anyone against you. Do you support Galloway? And he didn't like that question at all. And he ended up by saying something like, no, I don't support him. And that's going to have gone down like a bucket of sick with George, let me tell you. I don't support him either. I mean, I think some things he says are interesting. I think on this, he's got it completely wrong. But then so's our Prime Minister. I don't know. Right, I've got to stop now, guys. I want to say thank you very much. Great show. Just a little warning there to people like Grant French and James Junkin. We don't have conversations in the chat, apart from if you want to say hello to your mate, about a different subject. Like you were talking about the Bible. I'm not interested. And it clogs it up for other people. It's very selfish. It's very self-indulgent. But mostly it's very fucking tedious. So could you not do it? Because if you do it again, I will just ban you. And that'll be the end of it. Ad Jones, don't talk stupid. Anyway, I've run out of time. Ad Jones says there's no sound. Well, funny how hundreds of people are reacting and talking to me, isn't it? You've thought about checking your computer. Put your hand on your knob and twiddle it if you can find it. Good to see you, John. Keep up the good work. Thank you. That's Kid Charmaine. And Mark Lyons says, take your Bible-punching narratives to Hyde Park Corner. Exactly. Not do it on my show. Right, that's me done. I'll be back. What day's tomorrow? Monday. I'll be back tomorrow at 6, normal time. Like I say, then Tuesday's my actual birthday. So Lisa's taking me out. So I will do a show, but it'll be before 6 and it'll be pre-recorded. You can still join in and all the rest of it. And that's it. And then Wednesday is going to be a similar sort of situation. Ad Jones, who just told me he couldn't hear, he's now kind of, I said, put your hand on your knob and twist it. He's taken it in good part because he's just come back and said, I've got it now. It was the knob. Thank you. And by the way, play up Sky Blues. What a fantastic victory again yesterday, 2-1. We are going to be promoted automatically, aren't we? So there we are. There we are. David KT says, any chance of a lift to Hill Dickinson next season? No, ask Mike Parry. That's Everton's new ground, isn't it? I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched today. Please spread the word. Don't forget, you can watch it on replay just by going to Jon Gaunt TV. You can listen it again on podcast when you're walking the dog, anything you fancy. Mark Lyons says, just joined you. I'm an expat here in New Zealand. Good to have you on board, my friend. Go and look in the archive. If you've subscribed, you'll be able to see all the old ones as well. Ad Jones give me 3 thumbs up. I've got to go. You get out, get off. Yes to both questions, says Wally Dog. Are they both cowards and traitors? Whatever I asked at the beginning. Thank you for making it a good show. I'll see you. Oh, hold on. Oh, I've got to read this out because they just donated some money. Abby Creates has just offered me, well, not offered, donated £4. Thank you very much. And she says, I think it's she, have a great birthday week. I will. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, it's me birthday. It's me birthday. 65. I think I'd have preferred to have died at 40 rather than get to 65 where nothing works. Everything droops. Everything's falling off. Eyes don't work properly. I don't know. Maybe I should do one on aging. Because they say 65's the new 40, don't they? Mark Lyons, the geezer in New Zealand, says, I will do, John. I'm on it. That's looking at the archive. Thank you. Well, now you're a member, you'll be able to. Right, okay, I've got to go. I'll speak to you tomorrow at 6. Day before my birthday. I'll speak to you then. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them and make sure they never vote green while Polanski's in charge. That's almost as bad as thinking Keir Starmer's a good prime minister. See ya.